If you've learned that thrift stores aren't always offering a bargain, or that costly alterations aren't a guarantee that the piece of clothing will look good, it sounds like you might have learned a couple of the same lessons I did. What was I thinking? Hello, welcome to Sarah Refined. I am Sarah, and this channel is where I'm sharing my journey of self-development, personal growth, and financial education. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and for liking this video and subscribing to the channel. I'm a fan of short intros, so let's just start with number 1. Just because something is cheap does not mean it's worth it. Thrift shopping is my downfall. Just because the price tag says $8 and it fits alright, doesn't mean you should get it. There's more to this equation. Like, does it fit alright? Do you feel good when you have it on? I tend to buy more things I'm iffy on if it's secondhand, because I feel like it's worth it and not necessarily as harmful like fast fashion, which I try to stay away from when possible. But I'm learning that just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's always a good option. Numero 2. Learn how to save while you're ahead so you don't fall behind. I have a story for you. Are we surprised? If so, you might be new, so welcome. Thanks for being here. So this story is actually one of 2 that I mentioned 2 weeks ago in my 5 saving accounts that everyone should have. If you haven't seen that one yet, I'll put it right here, and you should definitely go check it out after this one. So, how did saving money while I was ahead, and that's a stretch, prevent me from falling behind? Well, when I was about 22 or 23, I was investing a little bit of money, about $100 a month, into a TFSA. I had been doing my TFSA for about 2 years, and my dad had also generously given me about $1,000 to put into the TFSA specifically. So this was all growing and growing and growing, and I had about $4,100 in there if I'm remembering correctly. And then one day the CRA calls me. Turns out they've been calling me for a while, but because I didn't recognize the number, I was not answering. I had moved and not changed my address, and I owed some tax money. Basically, it came out to around, I think, $3,800, and it was because I hadn't paid taxes on a job I'd worked a year before. I still paid nearly $4,000 in one go just to clear the debt and get rid of it. I was so scared when I first found out about it because I didn't know you could pay and withdraw from a TFSA. I was like, I have $50 in my checkings account. I don't know where you want this money to come from, government. And then I was like, oh, I'm prepared. So by contributing to that account, I had saved myself a lot of debt and a lot of stress. It was still a very overwhelming lesson to learn, but I am so grateful I learned it because last year is the story that you can hear in that other video. It was a lot more important, and I wasn't nearly as stressed as I potentially would have been because it was just, I dealt with it before on a much smaller scale. Being prepared is so important if you watch too much Alexander's girly talk and start going ham on alterations. Number 3 is that alterations aren't always the best option. Now this one sort of touches back on the whole secondhand and cheap doesn't always mean good because alterations aren't always affordable. I like to buy secondhand things, sustainability, all that jazz. And then when the time comes, I just go ahead and get it altered if I need it to fit better. But I got ahead of myself in November and I bought a coat for $20 that was 4 sizes too big, at least. I paid $6 for new buttons, $130 for alterations, and my pride for the result. My husband gleefully tells me that I look like the mom in Home Alone. I've worn this coat once since I bought it. It was to a Christmas party where I was wearing a dress, so I really had no other option. Now, it's gonna sit in my closet, serving as a reminder that alterations and seamstresses are not miracle workers. Also, if anyone wants to buy this, it's about a 6 to an 8, and it's all yours. The 4th money lesson I've learned in the last few years is that spending money on jewelry is worth it. It feels really hard to spend $120 on the necklace or $180 on earrings. These earrings have a very special place that is their home, and if I am not wearing them, they are in their home. I can't say the same for my Claire's jewelry. Good jewelry lasts, and it helps level up any outfit. It also doesn't turn my skin green. So that's bonus. In the last few years, I've definitely spent more money on less jewelry, but I have no regrets. No regrets is good because you don't want to talk about money when you're in a low vibration. That's because number 5, money is an energy. In the same sense that we have good days and bad days, or peppy moods or meh moods, money has good energies and bad energy. Once I started seeing money as something I would always be surrounded by and that I can always make more of, I became way less attached to how I was going to get it and when. There were times when I was $300 behind on rent and it was due the next day. And in both cases that I'm thinking about right now, the landlord texted me saying that he was out of town and he wouldn't be able to pick up the rent for a couple of days. I also was able to pick up an extra shift at work where I had really generous clients and they tipped me really well. And I can honestly say I have never been late on any of my bills. Ever. No matter how stressed I was or how panicked I was that I wasn't going to be able to make it, it always works out for me. And it will for you too. You just got to change the mindset and understand there's money all around you. Bring yourself into a higher vibration and it's going to be yours. This was the most important lesson I have learned about money in the last 5 years. What's the most important lesson you've learned in the last 5 years? I really want to know, so please leave the comments down below. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. My current goal is to make a financial video every other week, with the off weeks being something about self-development or personal growth, because I think they're a bit vague. They're a bit vague. I'm still trying to narrow down what I mean by that because I do think that those two terms are a little bit vague. I'm loving the process and I hope you are too. Remember to click that subscribe button for good luck and share this video with someone who you think might enjoy it. That's all. I'll see you in the next video. If you watch my videos and you're kind of a hair person and you're like, ew, her hair is always like, oh, I know. I don't know what to do about it, man. It just sits like this. So if you have some suggestions, let me know. Yeah, it looks pretty weird in every video. I'm aware. I'm aware.